Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight, and we got a lot to talk about. Oh my goodness! Somebody swatted Amy Coney Barrett, and how long do you think it's going to take for them to track him down? Let me see if I got my setup right. Anyway, it ain't gonna take long. I can tell you, I must have it. I must have it set up right. We shall see. But anyway, what do you see on the screen there? That's not happening, thankfully, in Brooklyn, at least not yet. But they're throwing rocks at Satan. Didn't I say it was a holy, air quotes, holy period, a holy time, and that things were going to be semi-quiet, all quiet on the Middle Eastern front? Yeah, well, looks like that's true. But now they threw their rocks at Satan. What's going to happen now? Trump is getting tired of waiting. So we got that to talk about, plus Hasan, Piker, and the press in general are going to have their hands full. And I believe they know it. I believe they're sweating bullets. But what do? I play videos while people come in and settle in, get themselves a cup of coffee or a cold brouhaha or an adult beverage of their choice. And then we will be like butter and get on roll.
Dust on my Bible, flags on the line. You laughed at our warnings, called truth a crime. You sold us your secrets, wrapped up like hope. Signed all our futures with a poison note. You sat in your mansions, we prayed in the rain. You cast every favor on a ledger of pain. You thought you were covered, names on a list, private plain pages you swore don't exist. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. You thought she was certain, thought he was too. Shook hands in the back room, said they'll never break through. You mocked every farmer, every steel-toed boo. Called them crazy and bitter while you buried the proof. Now screens start flashing, whole names, young kids, whole world scrolling through the things y'all did. Digital soldiers from the cornfields to Rome say leave our children alone or we're taking you home. Let's go! Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. When the judge walks in, every bell gon' chime. Game over. From the back roads to the big tall towers, patriots worldwide, this the final hour. You can beg, you can bargain, you can scream, you can hide, but the book's been written and your name's inside. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you're done. Thought you hid in the shadows, but we watched every run. You sold out your own people, every promise a lie. Now the truth hits different with the world looking right in your eyes. Tick-tock, time's up, game over, you lose. Treason don't pay well when the light cuts through. God on our side and he's right on time. Nothing's gonna stop what's already signed. Game over.
Storm's on.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm they're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. I'm glad to see you all tonight, and I hope you're doing well. Let me see who's here. Ha ha. Yeah, I should have left that screen up. It's easier to read the names, but I'll do the best I can with a white background. I might have to pop it back up on the screen. I don't know. Maybe I'll play another video. Todd, how you doing? Darla, Sissy, Colette, Linda. Nice to see you. All right. Let's see. Kim's here. Sissy's here. Cole's here. Bambi's here. Ha ha ha. Hi, Bambi. Let's see. I hate it if I miss somebody and I call out somebody twice and I miss somebody. I do the best I can. Right, Melinda? Yeah. Wayne's here. Give me a thumbs up. We were looking for you last night, Wayne. Were you here last night? And yes, I hope Miss Mindersu makes it in too. We were looking for her. You both were MIA, and we were like, oh, what's going on? I didn't even know if I could make it up this evening. Flannel Cheese, how you doing? And yesterday too was rough. Rebecca, nice to see you. Brett's here. All right. Ha ha. Let's see who else we got. Man, I got a lot of cogitating to do while I talk. I got some notions in my head about that boy Hasan Piker. He's not alone, right, Wanda? Oh, there are things being, sneaky things being done in the media. I'm starting to see a pattern. And that's what makes the world go around, you know, is patterns. And, you get an epiphany once you notice things. You have an epiphany over and over again. It's like, oh, they're doing this. Oh, they're doing it that way. But we'll talk about that. Hasan Piker, he's scared. He's wearing Depends at night, I suspect. Or probably maybe during the day, too. I don't know. But he's nervous. And he should be. And he should be. And he's talking with a lot of other people. And he's pointing fingers at other people. And, that's a sure sign. If he's smart, he keep his yap shut. And like I said, you just get the hell out of the country because, might have an extradition with Turkey. I don't know. But anyway, happy birthday to Rudy Giuliani. He turned 82 today. How you doing, Mountain? So, who else had a birthday today? Anybody know? Rudy Giuliani, he put up a post, and he waited till today to do it, which is coming to the end of this very important season or festival or whatever they want to call it. Then he put up Iran's regime of terror has been vowing death to America endlessly for 47 years. They have slaughtered Americans in unresponded to acts of war over and over again. Yeah, the USS Cole and the Marine Barracks, just to name a couple. The American response was appeasement, encouraging further slaughter. When do we eliminate the regime? That was from Rudy Giuliani today, right after everybody finished throwing their pebbles. So I don't see anybody making any guess. Whose birthday was it? Anybody know? Rebecca got it. Rebecca got it. Marco Rubio. Happy birthday, Marco Rubio. And he turned 55 today. Man, I remember 55. Yeah, they say you're as young as you feel. Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days, but we keep on keeping on. And if I miss a night, and you can still pull up my channels, it doesn't mean I was taken down. I might not be able to broadcast, but if my channel's gone, you know why I got taken down. And I'm on Rumble. I'll be on Rumble, right? So anyway, now, how many lefties are going to tune into me when they see Hasan Piker is not alone? Oh, they want to help Hasan Piker. And then they'll come in and see this stuff, like the post from the White House. There's no place like the United States of America worth protecting. I don't know if my notifications are going out. I tell you, last night's stream and this stream, it doesn't seem like people are getting notified like they have been for years. Like the brakes have been put on. Have you noticed that? Yeah, I still have that, but they changed the rules, Todd. They call it ban evasion. And if you do that during whatever time they take you down, they'll permanently remove your Google account. You can't even watch YouTube videos, much less post. Yeah, it's brutal. But anyway, did you all get to see Scott Bessent today? And, if I'm waylaid physically, it doesn't matter what channel it is. I mean, sometimes I'm broadcasting you. You guys don't know what's going on. That's part of the reason I don't go on screen, So, sometimes it's tough. I just have to say. So anyway, what do I mean by Hasan Piker's not alone? Boo tizzle, right? Well, this business with E. Jean Carroll, I'm going to give you an example. Everybody's heard about this, right? E. Jean Carroll. She's going to get charged. She's being investigated. There were a lot of creators, I'm sure some of you know and like, did live streams on it. Judge Napolitano did a video on it with Fox News. Justice Department is said to open inquiry into E. Jean Carroll over Trump lawsuits. So everybody had different takes on it. How could she get away with lying under oath in a deposition? Stuff like that. And, of course, Napolitano has to go into this. Well, the thing about perjury, it has to be a material fact. And I don't think they'll prevail if they do go after her because she said she didn't remember Reid Hoffman. Reid Hoffman! Oh my goodness, Reid Hoffman was financing her suit, right? And all the legislation they had to change to get Trump. Don't forget, Reid Hoffman is behind Code Stink, okay? Also known as Code Pink. And who did Hasan Piker go to Cuba with? Code Stink. I mean, Pink, yeah. So, okay, we're seeing some threads being connected, right? Now, who put this story out? It was on X. It was reported everywhere. Newsweek, Fox, CNN put up something about it, a blurb on it. Everybody was talking about it all day long. And of course, with Napolitano saying, it wasn't material. And it wouldn't count as being pejorious because it wasn't a material fact in the that were before the court, the issue before the court. And wait a minute, doesn't her ability to recall, isn't that a pertinent issue? And if she can't even recall who's throwing millions of dollars at this cause and financing this business within 6 months, how the hell is she supposed to be accurate about something 30 years old? So that's just one thing. That's just one thing. So, Judge Knapp gets on my nerves, but you don't know how much he's doing just to pluck people, get them started and, stir the pot. I versus actually putting some heavy thought into it. So, oh, really, Todd? Yeah, she's got multiple accusations out against people. I don't know. Half our audience is missing. This is like last night. I don't know why that is. I don't know what happened. Did I say something? Was it something I said? But anyway, so also, is it, well, I'll call it germane. The perjury has to be about an issue that's germane. I don't know if that's the best term to use, but I'll use it. If there's a case being built for election interference, foreign interference in elections, okay, or any of a number of reasons, that could go right up to the judge and beyond. Judge, remember that Kaplan, greasy looking thing, Kaplan, who also handled the Sam Bankman-Fried case, right? Where they mysteriously found all this money, but he's still sitting in the joint. So, I don't know. I don't know about what the benefit would be of having an investigation in E.G. Carroll for Trump personally. But I know there would be benefit to it if anyone were looking at a wider conspiracy. So yeah, that's the way I look at it. But then, word gets out. Let's see. Let me find it. How many of you all heard this? Holy cow, where'd it go? That there's a disclaimer. That there's not an investigation. Is this it? U.S. Attorney's Office. The following is a statement by Andrew S. Boutros, United States Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois. In light of the widespread reporting and intense media and public interest into the E.G. Carroll matter in New York, the Chicago U.S. Attorney's Office can confirm that it has not opened and has never opened a criminal investigation into E. Jean Carroll. Any claim to the contrary is categorically false. Very interesting. But does that preclude other U.S. attorneys' offices? Is that a blanket statement for the entire U.S. Department of Justice? But if it is accurate that this is a false story, why would they throw out a false story and have every creator, every news agency from the left to the right reporting on E.G. Carroll as a victim? So you have to keep your mind open to a number of reasons or possibilities. One is that maybe the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Northern District of Illinois had got a damn thing to do with it. Maybe it's something being done at a different level somewhere else. But it would be kind of reckless for them to make a blanket statement where the general public would be duped, so to speak. Maybe, I don't know. But then again, why would such a fantastic story come out if it weren't true? I was wondering. Then I came across this. Robert Gavoy. I watched part of it, short part of it, because I had to get ready to do my show. And a bell went off in my head. Ding, ding, ding. And I said, wait a minute. Here we go. You think Hasan Piker. You think E. Jean Carroll. You think George Conway. You think Judge Kaplan. You think this guy. I'll tell you what he did in a minute. And you think every character like him with the press. Because in my title it says, U.S. Press, Foreign Spin. Journalist criminally charged in Trump spying attack as unregistered foreign agent. His name will come up, but I went right away to the Cruise on X, Cruise on Truth, Cruise on Telegram to see specifics about the story, maybe a synopsis I could screen grab and put up, with his name and stuff, dates and stuff like that. I didn't find a story on it. Just this. And Gavoya isn't going to sit there and puke out some title like this without knowing what he's talking about. He's been criminally charged. What I heard was, over a period of time, he was given a phone by representatives of the CCP. For those not in the know, hi, Pappy Two Bears, how are you? For those not in the know, that's called the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. And he was given instructions, and apparently they have copies of all that. They got it all, as we've been told in the past. And he received cash or payments, I don't know if it's crypto or bank accounts or somebody walks by and hands him a newspaper and you open the newspaper up, whoa, look at that money in there. But anyway, $100,000 at least. So he's going to jail if this stuff's proven true. And how many counts is he facing? And it's similar to what Hasan Piker's going through. Acting for the benefit of a foreign agent and to the detriment of your own government. With Piker, each charge carries like 9 to 10 years, and they don't even know how many charges he's going to be looking at. This is, he's being subpoenaed. He's not charged yet. He's being subpoenaed, and what are they going to do with that subpoena? Remember I talked about subpoena ducus tecum. What does that mean? Give me the damn papers. A friend of mine said that one time, a long time ago, before internet. What does subpoena ducus tecum mean? It means give me the damn papers. That means give everything you got, your notes, your phone records, billing, everything. Now we're in the days of the internet, not yellow legal pads the way I came up. So it's going to be electronic communications and phones, Blackberries, computers for Hasan Piker. And he said he had contacts in Cuba that got a hold of his contact in the U.S. Embassy. So there are people shaking in their shoes. And nobody else reported on this guy. So my point is, was the E. Jean Carroll tossed out there? They say don't bury the lead. It means you have a headline and you take forever to get to the point. I do that sometimes in my videos because I'll talk about something that's got my craw, and then I'll go, well, wait a minute, about an hour later, I'll say, oh yeah, let's talk about this nuclear submarine or whatever. And no, it's not bury the lead. Bury the story. Since they can't bury the story, they overwhelm the news cycle. Every single outlet puts something out about E. Jean Carroll. Not one peep I could find about this guy. Now I'll get his name and I'll goggle it, and maybe I'll find some more stuff. But usually stuff like this, all you got to do is go on X. I said Twitter earlier, didn't I? Oh, shame on me. And it'll pop up. But apparently this has been ongoing. Why isn't anybody reporting on it? And I said last night that what's going on with Hasan Piker is going to be, what was Obama, what was that term he used? A teachable moment. It's going to be something. They're picking him, I believe, first of all, because he deserves it. Second of all, because he's very high profile. It was out of the blue. He's gotten away with so much, and they feel impervious. But anyway, it's very high profile, not like this, whoever this character is on the screen, that'll just get swept away. They picked him because everybody wants to see what's going on. And they're going to put it out in very simple terms, where he committed a crime against his own government. Multiple. If it turns out to be multiple crimes, he'll do multiple sentences. And it'll lay out exactly what they tried to hang General Flynn with. That's what they used. The Logan Act. Foreign agent, saying he was a foreign agent, but they never really described what he did, other than finger point and a brush by couple of sentences with a Russian diplomat at a dinner after Trump won. When Trump was president-elect, he said, I'll have to talk to you about this stuff later. I can't talk right now. And that was what they destroyed Flynn's career, and he lost his home, and they threatened his son over. Now we're going to see those charges with actual actions that fit the charge. And it's going to be done first as Hasan Piker, very high profile. This guy, I don't know if anybody's going to pick it up or not. And don't forget Bob Menendez, who's sitting in jail. A sitting senator is sitting in jail now. He's not even a senator anymore. That's over with. He's got to rely on Trump's graces before he gets out and sees daylight. But he was accepting money from foreign entities. Okay, so it'll all be coming together, I believe. So we got all this stuff and more popping up all the time. And if you saw Scott Bessent's press conference, he handled them very well, and they kept asking redundant questions. What's the purpose of these redundant questions? What do you think Trump would accept or not accept as an Iranian deal? After he said 3 times, no nuclear program, an open straight, whatever the third one was. And he finally said, I couldn't explain it any clearer. I'm not answering. I've already explained it. But the reason they do that is to get you to say something in a different way, because you think, oh, they must not have understood me. I didn't present my message right. Let me say it in a different way. And once you do that, they'll find a flaw in what you said and then focus on that flaw. They know damn good and well what Scott Bessent said. And these redundant questions are a method to be able to twist the narrative. And Bessent's on to him, Trump's on to him, and more are going to get on to him, and they're just going to look like idiots. So I did like the way he ended his press conference. The media over and over and over again. What about the 1.7 billion? Then they upped it to 1.8 billion for Trump's allies to get from a slush fund. Well, Gavin Newsom, right? I had this in the studio yesterday. He comes up. Newsom vows 100% tax on DOJ, quote, anti-weaponization fund payouts. I think they should name it government victim funds. Headhunter victims funds or something like that. Give me a minute or give me some time. I'll come up with something. So read the 16th Amendment. That's why I keep saying that was when we lost our freedom. That was the gateway to slavery. They can take up to 100% of your earnings. No limit. And when was that passed? 1916? So for 110 years or so, they've had the power through the 16th Amendment to take everything you earn. And to this day, people are like, how the hell did that get through? But anyway, that's what he's leaning on. So, in any other sense, what would our founding fathers do with these people? What would they do? I know what they do. But anyway, here's Scott Bessent. He was asked about Newsom.
Thanks, sir. Governor Gavin Newsom has floated this idea of a 100% state tax on Californians who receive money from President Trump's anti-weaponization fund. Your response to the governor's call for 100% tax?
There's no cure for stupid. Okay. Thank you all.
They call that a mic drop moment. You can't fix stupid. You can't fix stupid. Randy, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. I'm sorry to hear that, Randy. Are you going into therapy? They got you, usually it's the first 24 hours, you're in a supine position relaxed, laid out so blood can get to your head, everything, and they evaluate you, right? Is that where you're at, or do they have you set up for physical therapy? Let's hope that's the case, right? Don't tell us any more than I know. It's hard for you to type. I know, but hey, don't even stress out over. You relax and rest, and do the therapy. They've got therapy for everything. Yeah, Randy, the whole chat's pulling for you, buddy. You relax, okay? Just listen to the broadcast and rest your nerves. Because as you know, we're in good hands. We're in good hands, and you just got to think about getting better. And you might surprise yourself. You might surprise yourself. So that statement by Gavin Newsom, that appeals to what? Maybe 30% of the California lunatics, which nationwide ain't saying much. Well, 37% is what's pulling for Karen Bass. I mean, people have either ignorant or just totally lost their damn minds. Yeah, flannel cheese, I'll read it to you, Randy. Yeah, Cole said, rest is healing. And flannel cheese is praying for you. Linda, Todd, Sissy, Cole, everybody in the chats. Everybody whose name I shouted out earlier is pulling for you, buddy. So, anyway, so is there a method to that madness? Is he putting things like people were saying about Zoran Mamdani? Is he holding this stuff under people's noses as part of the Wake Up America? Or are they that damn arrogant and dumb? Holy cow, big old beetle just flew in. I got my door open a little bit with the light on. Big beetle hit. I didn't know what it was. Thought it was a drone. Ha ha. Yeah. CNN put this out. They can't even get this stuff right. This was today. They put it up. CNN forced to admit Spencer Pratt's ad campaign is working. They showed him February at 7%. May, he had May 26th, today or yesterday or whatever, he had 27%. Well, that's not even right. Yeah, she might get it, Linda. I'm sure she will. A crunchy. She'll get a crunchy. But they didn't even get that right. Because the last poll I saw, here it is. I think this is it. Spencer Pratt was ahead. 35. Karen Bass, 33. Who the hell's undecided? 16%. So he's picking up momentum. And they have to admit it. Now, I know that pollster's got a good attitude. He's nice, seems like a nice guy and all that. You never know. But this was before what he put out in an interview. I got a quote from Eric Doherty from Spencer Pratt, where he calls them all criminals. Karen Bass and Gavin Newsom, just stone cold criminals. And he's so appealing to just, let me see if this is it. Yeah, here it is. Eric Doherty. This works out better. Sometimes, when you're not feeling great, you slow down a little bit. You can go through your thoughts better. Eric Doherty, wow. L.A. mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt just dropped this bombshell on Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass after she got Newsom's endorsement. They're both complicit in laundering $24 billion to increase homelessness. Laundering $24 billion. Keep in mind that doesn't include Medicare, Medicaid fraud, the train debacle, the money for to prevent forest fires. We're talking billions and billions. They both should be in jail together. They're alleged criminal partners. Not only did they work together and their negligence in burning down 7,000 houses and 12 people alive. Anybody with eyeballs in the state of California or Los Angeles knows there has not been a reduction in one homeless person. Somebody's got to go to jail over this stuff. I don't care about misfeasance, malfeasance. No. Somebody go to jail. Outright criminality. Oh. Trump refiles $10 billion defamation suit against Wall Street Journal over Epstein report. We're going to be taking a look at whatever judge was involved to cause that lawsuit to get derailed. And every attorney that's involved in that. We need to take a look at them for conspiracy, not lawfare, not malpractice, conspiracy. Don't forget, E. Jean Carroll's case. What was her case? Defamation. It was a civil case. A civil case. And they stymied Trump every step of the way, but they opened the doors wide for people like E. Jean Carroll with their cronies, Reid Hoffman and George Conway. Et al. Et al. That means and others, and all. So, time to start draining their resources, draining their confidence. And we're doing it. Meanwhile, our country is seeing the ramifications of this third world hellholes that they bring into our nation. And we're seeing more and more issues over these medical experiments and whatnot that we've had conducted on us, most notably in 2019, right? Here's an update on Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch battled weeks-long illness before he died. Death certificate reveals. He spent weeks battling a worsening illness before the two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion died last week at the age of 41. My God. According to newly released details from a death certificate. Now, I don't know what the worsening illness was, but his family said it resulted in sepsis and bleeding of the lungs. So, I don't have any notion in my head that it was Ebola. Don't have that in my head. I'm just saying that's what happens. You start coughing up blood. You start erupting in blood. It's not it's just like a little thing that makes your eyebrows go up. But I think we need to find out more about that. And there was a incident that happened today, and I said, oh, here we go again. Did y'all hear about this? Hockey icon dies unexpectedly. Used to say suddenly, and they quit doing that because you could Google it, and the word suddenly with the word DIES in front of it, and all these things would pop up. So they changed it to unexpectedly. Days after appearance in playoff game, Claude Lemieux, the 4-time Stanley Cup champion known for living in the crease, living in opponents' heads and scoring when it mattered most, has died. He was 60. That's not old. That's only 5 years older than Marco Rubio. I said, oh my goodness, I wonder what that was about. You know, did he was it similar to Kyle Busch or have anything to do with what we were talking about? But no, I watch this channel infrequently, but when there's issues I want to watch or they talk about, it's a sports channel. And I'm not very into sports. And I didn't have time to watch it because I'm setting up for the studio tonight. But let me show you the thumbnail that I found. And I can't use this word. At least in the past, I've been scolded for it. People have been taken down for it. And we're told in the terms of service that, don't use it. Right? I say, you know what aside. You know what aside. But he's got it on his thumbnail, bold as brass. And it's black and white sports. It's good, they have a good production and put up good videos if you like sports issues, But sometimes they get into stuff like this. And also, if sports get into politics, he'll get into politics, So anyway, I saw this before I went live, and I got a screenshot of it. So apparently, nothing to do with the JAB, right? He took his own life. So I'll have to watch that after the broadcast, or maybe tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. It's a shame. It's a shame. Well, let's see. They tried to put a little humor into this religious holiday. Viral blonde Bangladeshi buffalo nicknamed Donald Trump is saved from Eid sacrifice, right? There you see a buffalo with a... But wait a minute, didn't I show you all Zohran Mamdani and a whole brigade of Muslims sticking their butts up in the air and doing their prayers in New York? You're supposed to sacrifice an animal. Did you know that? Remember one broadcast where a city passed an ordinance saying they're waiving the standards about you can't keep chickens or farm animals or in your basement, but now you can. So the community that needs that for their religious services, they could keep animals in their basement, in their backyards. But you and I couldn't if we wanted backyard chickens and stuff, right? Well, I wonder how many incidences in New York there was animals being sacrificed. I didn't know a lot about Muslim culture when I was younger. And the only thing I associated that kind of activity with animal sacrifice was with early biblical stories, and that Christ gave us a new covenant, and we don't do that anymore. And the only modern day equivalent I associated with was Satanism, right? Or voodoo. And I never thought any more of it. But now, here it is in our culture. Well, their culture is in our backyard. I'm going to put it that way. What's this? Christine Aguirre put these pictures up. Now, I got to remind you that Oregon just put on the ballot. Put on the ballot that you can't have any hunting or fishing in Oregon. That's what they're trying to push through. And you can't keep livestock because it's cruel to the animals. These people who are they're in the minority, but they did get it where they'll be able to vote on it. They're the same ones that wear these dish rags and run around pushing for Palestine and integration or tolerance and all this kind of stuff. What are they going to say when they see this stuff? What's going on? What's going on? People are outraged over reports of animal abuse tied to the Muslim Eid al-Adha celebrations near public schools and in residential areas. Yeah, the places where you're able to keep goats in your basement. Sheep in your basement. It's happening in the Muslim-heavy neighborhoods in Detroit, where locals say the cultural practices of Muslims torturing and KILLing animals clash with American standards of animal welfare and public decency. At the Oakland International Academy, reports of Muslims unloading terrified sheep from trailers, setting off fireworks, forcing kids onto the animals right outside the school in a Muslim-controlled area before KILLing the animals in a slow expiration. I'll put it that way. This is all part of the Eid al-Adha observances. So if you want to see the rest of the story, you got to go to Christine Aguirre. But you see the dichotomy, you see the hypocrisy. They don't want you to be able to fish or hunt or keep livestock on your property because you're being cruel to the animals. And you should be eating meat anyway. But now this bunch is doing it. They go, oh, no, it's okay. Free Palestine, river to the sea. They're insane. Oregon, hi Sue. Oregon's gonna be overrun with Muslims. Probably are already. So, lunacy of the left. Nobody mentions it. Nobody brings it up. So, the other thing I've got in my thumbnail is police rush to SCOTUS Justice Amy Coney Barrett's home after a swatting call. Devious, nefarious, conniving, and vicious. That's the kind of people that come up with this. She's got children in the home. She's just like you and me. She's got to get a good night's sleep. You get put in danger with these situations. There was a person charged with Tim Pool, I believe it was. Tim Pool's swatting incident. And didn't they charge him with attempted murder? Because their intention was for something to go south and people to get SHOT, right? So what's going to happen to this clown? But these situations are intensifying. We've got to be head on a swivel. the assassination attempts on Trump. We all know what happened to Charlie Kirk. And it's going to get worse. And don't forget that clash with Elena Kagan and Judge Alito when they took half a year to put out their dissent because they wanted to delay a ruling they did not agree with, they were losing on. Alito told them, one of them was the Roe v. Wade. Says you're putting our lives in danger. You're creating an atmosphere that's going to get somebody hurt. And keep that in mind because, I could talk about Reid Hoffman. I could talk about Hasan Piker. I could talk about that creep who got charged. I could talk about Bob Menendez, on and on and on. But let me tell you something. It's going to be hundreds of them that are going to get it. And some of them are going to be in judgeships. And I would say to you, all the way up to the Supreme Court, there are people going to be removed from their office. Not everybody's going to get thrown in jail. Not everybody's going to be sitting in front of a, what's the word you use, squad for treason and all that. No, there's different levels of things. There's people who are just damn dumb. But this is going to be a clean out. A clean out. Enema, I think I put in my title last time. So, here we go. Here, Trump put this up. Not a damn word from the press. They're talking to the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, for a half an hour, asking redundant questions, hoping for a trip up on issues that they care about. I couldn't believe it. One of them comes out and says, don't you think Donald Trump... Now, this is the Treasury Secretary in charge of trillions of dollars, dealing with the Iranians, dealing with Venezuelans, dealing with the Cubans, dealing with terrorist organizations, dealing with domestic criminals, dealing with government expenditures and fraud, rampant fraud across multiple states. What's a good question to ask that man? Oh, I know. Don't you think Donald Trump is putting Republicans at risk when he said he doesn't care about the midterms? Remember that last night? I said it was a narrative. He doesn't care about the midterms. So Trump doesn't care what the people think. And the answer is just what Scott Bessent said. He said, so you're saying he's a statesman. That's what he said to her. And she's sitting there with her mouth hanging on, what do you mean? That he would rather worry about the safety of the nation and the world and prevent radicals from having atomic weapons than his own political fate. He cares more about that. He's a statesman. So he handled it great. But did they ask one damn question about this intel where Trump took $8-9 billion investment and now it's worth $51 billion? They didn't even ask about the tariff situation with the Supreme Court. They didn't ask about what I showed yesterday, which is rolled out today. The Trump Accounts app. That you fill out a form 4547. That's the number of the form. 4547. Have millions of newborns given some seed money as a start in life. Is Gavin Newsom going to pass a bill to take that too? Boy, would that make a meme. Are you going to confiscate that too from newborns that survive your policies? And you know what I'm talking about in California? No, they didn't ask a damn word about it. How's it work? Who's it for? No curiosity, no bringing it up at all. Nothing about Trump's successes, nothing about the billions brought in through tariffs, even after that disastrous Supreme Court decision, which will get overturned. They'll overturn themselves. And it may be because we remove justices that are insane. At least you're not dealing with this. A Dutch citizen. See how they do? Libs of TikTok put this up. A 20-year-old Dutch citizen was arrested today. Over in Holland, yeah. At least you're not dealing with, oh, yes, we are. We just don't see it very much. He was obviously doing something sideways in a public place, and they arrested him. And boy, he looks Dutch to me. He could have fooled me. I thought he was Irish. But see, it's worldwide. This media twisting of facts and poking a finger in the mind's eye of the populace, or holding a prism up to the mind's eye of society to get them to think in a certain way. It's called a narrative, a criminal narrative. Speaking of criminals, here's that clip I didn't get of Trump talking about their criminality. And he calls somebody a criminal to their face right here in a cabinet meeting for the history books. Listen and you'll see who I'm talking about. A criminal. What do we do with criminals?
These are crooked people. These are thieves. This isn't like a mistake. I'm just talking about one person. He got hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for securing one man, for taking care of one elderly man. He was a service. He got paid millions of dollars for taking care of one man. Total crook. They're all crooks. The Somalians, what they've done to Minnesota, the Somalians, they're crooked as hell. Ilhan Omar, crooked as hell. They're all crooks. And we got them. We got them. Now we're putting the clamps on. But boy, I tell you, that's an impressive group of guys that you have behind you. I was watching that, and a couple of very strong women, too. But I was watching that last night. I said, I'm proud of you guys.
I put my link to buy me a coffee in the chats at the 103 mark, 102, 103 mark. Yeah, if anybody wants to help the channel out. Who'd I miss? Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Yeah, he's trying to save the world, you ninnies. What a bunch of nitwits. I call them nitwits and stuff like that. My comments just get taken down. But I mean, you know, you got to tell it like it is. And let me get Donald Trump off the screen because I want to set off my bombs. I don't want to do it on Donald J. Right? Yeah, the rock throwers. They threw rocks at Satan. Now what? Well, it's going to somebody's going to have to do you know what or get off the pot in Iran. But anyway, I want to thank. I haven't got new names, but the same names. Robin, Sparky, Wayne, Miss Mendersu. I hope you're out there listening to us, sweetheart. Kapow! Kaboom! Younger Gang, and Mike and Bev. Kaboom, kaboom. If I miss anybody, I apologize. I'll always give you a triple shout out next time around. I haven't been able to check any recent stop by. So we'll see who stopped by me a coffee. And the links in the chats work after the live broadcast. You just go to the chats, and when you see the link, click on it. It'll after the live stream. And yeah, you can be part of the coffee gang. So anyway, speaking of being careful, Nick Shirley has been putting up stuff. And he posted, "Who the hell does this? Desert News. Stop Nick Shirley Act. Passes in California's Assembly." They're making laws to stop Nick Shirley, or trying to. Well, I guess they're going to get away with it. What are they how are they going to stop him? How are they going to stop him? I'll tell you one thing that worries me. This right here. This was today. I'm worried. I'm worried for this young man. Look at the savages behind him. Look at the look that he's giving him. You don't see that kind of a look in a movie. That's a menacing, savage look from a third world animal that wants him to be uncomfortable, that wants him to be in fear of harm. Confronting anti-ICE protesters at New York City protests. "I prefer ISIS over ICE." That should get you deported right there. That comment should be enough to get you deported. ISIS, we're fighting ISIS. It's a terror organization. And if you got a green card, it should be revoked. I hope there are operators nearby or in with his group that are documenting the faces and the comments of these people, and that they scoop them all up and ship them the hell out of here. Look at that face. How would you like to be trying to do a video and have that thing glaring at you like that? So I'm worried for him. I'm worried for him. Head on a swivel. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, he's got backup. I hope. He reposted this from Rapid Response. Typical leers. 2 Minnesota residents arrested for $21 million Medicaid fraud scheme. Minnesota residents. Well, they got to go. After they have their whatever assets they have confiscated, I would say sentence them to whatever time and ship them off to one of those 20 countries. Oh, wait a minute. The court said Trump couldn't send aliens off to serve prison time in another country. That's going to get changed around too. Bukele will take them. If they're going to sit in jail, he'll take them, and we'll pay them less than what it will cost us to keep that stink in our country, even if they are in jail. Because you can't trust these damn judges is another thing. So that's what we need to do. Or have a Greenland Seacott with a very selective choice of judges in Greenland that oversees how those cases are handled after conviction. Either that or ship them off to another country. Boy, I tell you, every day you get puked out. And it's not Libs of TikTok fault. It's just, they're just telling like it is. Look here. And they're being attacked all the time. Instagram influencer, LGBTQ activist, Alabama judge. an Alabama judge. Yeshiba Blanchard was suspended. What do you mean suspended? Well, it's not Libs TikTok's fault. She should be fired. She should be removed after she allegedly made racist comments towards a white court clerk. This woman was in charge of dispensing justice. There she is with a furry. And her hedonistic flag on her back, okay? Promoting, degrading philosophy towards other people's children. That should be enough to put your rear end in jail in my book. It's a good thing they're not going by my book. Who's this? When Rage was confronted by authorities for suspicious activities, he gave them a false name. Who is this? The husband of a Somali-born Minnesota council member was reportedly caught at the center of a potential illegal election activity involving hundreds of Somali voters. Fake names, repeat birthdays, mismatched photo IDs. Nothing to see here. Yeah, that stuff doesn't happen. That's all exaggerated rumors, right? What's this one? Nick Sortor. Oh, I'll put the video up. He got a video of these lunatics that were threatening an ICE agent's family. And this is what I'm talking about. Operators on the ground. And patience, okay? Don't give them some spectacular disaster or thing they can make look like a disaster. Give them enough rope, right? Here we go. Here's their rope.
I'll kill your whole fucking family! Your whole fucking family is dead! Come on! Your children, your wife, all dead! Put it! My boy! I have your face, motherfucker! You're dead! Dead! Your voice to back up and put your stick down, because I'm about that life. You said come on? You said come on, right? Yeah, it's small now. Put your stick down, tell your voice to back up. I'm about that life, my boy.
Your DEAD, I have your face. That's what he said. Probably said more than that, but that's the clip that they put out. But Sortor put up what they a follow-up. Here. Breaking. Acting AG Todd Blanche. He spelled it wrong. Just confirmed. Federal law enforcement will be arresting the man I caught on video threatening to kill an ICE agent and his family. I promise you, we will find him. And when we find him, we will arrest him. Because this is a crime not only to threaten law enforcement, but not surprisingly, to threaten their family as well. He said to the ICE agent, I have your face. Well, so do we. Let's go. Throw the book at him. And this is a tape. A longer version where I'll kill your whole effing family and stuff like that. I'm sure it's around enough. It's exactly why agents are forced to wear masks. Yep, that's true. So, yeah. What's the penalty for that? You know, and people are suing because they're getting fired for posting stuff like this. TikToker prays for Pam Bondi to suffer permanently from cancer. How are we supposed to share a country with these people? I'm not going to play it. I didn't upload it. It makes me sick. But here she is. Let Pam Bondi's throat cancer be the worst case of cancer anybody's ever seen. Now, who the hell would want somebody like this working for them? Would want to be in the same building? Or much less write paychecks to this person? Have them represent your business or your company? I sure in hell wouldn't. But some of these lefty sites are putting out these hundreds of thousands of dollars settlements for people who got fired for making fun of Charlie Kirk. and saying, we're winning. These people who lost their jobs are getting hundreds of thousands. If you lost your job, sue now. Well, guess what? The examples they were showing were universities and state agencies. They don't count because they're part of the problem. And they'll settle in a flash. It's just their way of paying off agitators and recruiting agitators. I guarantee you private businesses don't have to put up with this crap, because I would shut the doors before I'd let somebody come back in. Go live under a tree. You get some money from me, I ain't got nothing. I'm living under a tree. How about that? Speaking of getting some money, though. Here we go. Victory. What's this? Settlement terms. So, yeah, that works both ways, you disgusting liberals. Hillbilly put up, North Carolina high school student Christian McGee has won a major victory against his school district after being suspended for using the term illegal alien in English class. An English class, you can't even use proper terminology. Central Davidson High School in Lexington, North Carolina, suspended McGee for the phrase, which is established legal terminology used for decades in U.S. federal statutes. So, okay. He gets 20 grand. All right, good. Public apology from the district. Let me shrink that down. No record of the suspension on his transcript. A clear win for free speech in the classroom. There's a young fella. Yeah. Illegal alien. And hopefully that'll spread around. Make them uncomfortable. We don't want you here. Because we could end up like the UK. And Trump's pretty much told them, you guys better wake up. We're yanking the rug out from under them on a lot of stuff. Not just prescription medicine, where you, me, my parents, everybody we know has been funding all of these socialist healthcare systems all around the world by paying, through our tax dollars, outrageous amounts of money for medicine. Did anybody ask Scott Bessent about that? Does Donald Trump put his fellow Republicans at risk? He doesn't care about the midterms. Breaking, UK student Henry Nowak's killer Vikram Digwa. Vikram Digwa. He's English. Guilty of murder. You hear this story? He put a knife in a kid. And when the cops came, he accused him of racially abusing him. So the cops put the handcuffs on the guy, the kid, and didn't believe him when he said I'd been stabbed. And he just bled to death. While they're taking his statement, he's free, no handcuffs on him. On the night, Digwa, 23, murdered Nowak, 18. He told police that Nowak had racially abused him. This was revealed to be a lie. Abusing their own citizens. Here's a video put out by the White House. Remember this? When they're all going nuts. Free Gaza. How many goats do you think bought the farm in Gaza? And sheep and other innocent animals, but you don't want me to have backyard chickens, you sickos?
But it turned out that all we really needed was a new president.
spent millions and millions on those fountains, and they were just rat holes, and never did work till Trump got in on the scene. And they were still charging millions for maintenance, and they weren't worth a damn, weren't working. That's another scam. Weekly reminder from the White House: decline is a choice. Decline is a choice. The same goes for our culture. Our culture is in decline with this third world crap. So along with Nick Shirley, look here. What possesses a demon like this? Man arrested for threatening to kill Erica Kirk. Bomb TPUSA event. The media narrative is that TPUSA is full of Yahtzees and they're evil. How does that get around to people who watch just the CNN and the mainstream media? How do they all have such a bad view of TPS? It's called BLOOD, libel. Okay? And the only one reporting on is Fox News. A Texas man accused of threatening to kill Eric Kirk and bomb a TPU Turning Point USA event has been charged with third-degree felony count for making a terroristic threat. Good. And, you know, they get, especially with this age, if it gets 8 years or 5 years, whatever time, 10 years, whatever time he gets to jail, he's got to work. Okay? You know, put them in there where they sit on the rear ends and somebody brings them a tray of food 3 times a day and they just fart around all day. I can't do that in my home. What, it'd be a work camp? What do you say, my house is a work camp? I can't sit around all day and get 3 trays of food handed to me. I got to go out and do stuff. So should they. 26-year-old Jacob Wensk allegedly wrote a disturbing series. I'll tell you what, if they don't want to do work, they can get a basic meal, okay? Plenty of calories that comport with prisoner of war standards. I think it's 650 calories, no more, no less. Or if you work, you get a regular meal. You know, some meatloaf, mashed potatoes, stuff like that. 26-year-old, whatever his name is, wrote a disturbing series of online posts and emails, including saying he knows exactly where to bomb after an upcoming TPUSA event was announced in San Antonio. Authorities say he later escalated the threats, allegedly writing death to Erica Kirk and every single speaker there, while threatening a bomb at every single Turning Point rally and event. Where do they get that vitriol? The summit is scheduled for June 5th through 7th and expected to draw more than 2,500 attendees at San Antonio Marriott. TPUSA says security at the event will include enhanced multi-layered protection with private security and local police following the threats. Isn't that terrible? In our country, this is what we got to do. What's this one? What's the Telegraph yapping about now? Iran is now convinced Trump has lost the stomach to fight. That's the narrative. They think they're going to provoke Trump by making him think, I'll show them. You think that's the way Trump thinks? Or are you just going to try to get the taco garbage going again? Iran now believes Donald Trump had lost the stomach to fight, argues David Blair. I think the Telegram needs to get the same kind of treatment as far as a lawsuit's concerned as the other British idiotic publication. What is it? Despite Trump claiming Tehran is negotiating on fumes, Iran has continued military activity around the Strait of Hormuz, raising fears the conflict could spiral again. What, they're shooting off some bottle rockets and putting around in some 25-foot boats? Who is this dope? David Blair. I would have you on as a guest. I want to hear what you got to say, buddy. Who's it? Donald J. Trump. Congratulations to the Democrat Party. Al Green, one of the most mentally deficient congressmen in the history of our country, has lost in a landslide his seat in Congress. But I will miss that lunatic not screaming and violently waving his cane at me during my next State of the Union speech. Make America great again, Donald J. Trump. God bless America, Donald J. Trump. Yeah, I had a picture of him. I don't even want to put it up. Makes me sick. See, they get these districts and then they just put the most putrid, you could forget a conservative or middle of the road person of color in these arranged districts. They got to put the most ridiculous one they can find on there. Here's Scott Bessent. No, this I thought it was. Looks like him a little bit. GOP congressman calls for gas tax holiday as Iran conflict sparks energy concerns. Any questions to Scott Bessent about a gas tax holiday? Isn't the California gas tax $1.70? I don't know how much federal gas tax is. Bill Huizenga, the holiday my ass. Get rid of it altogether. Trump is bringing in billions, and if you'd have backed him up on tariffs, the last thing in the world we would do is tax gas. I've never heard of the guy. Where you been on the battlefield, Bill Huizenga, or whatever your name is? I've never heard of you. Trump's, remember last night I put up the picture of the 13 people who perished during this operation, and I talked about the 6 who died in the Stratotanker crashing. And I said, I'm glad they're honoring, no, that was Memorial Day. I'm glad they're honoring them, but they're doing it for a shifty purpose. They're not bringing up the Marines who died in Beirut. They're not bringing up the USS Cole. I said they're bringing up these 13 people just for this specific conflict with Iran to put pressure on Trump and to engender more animus towards the president. That's the only reason. Well, Trump noticed it too. Trump slams Democrats after Memorial Day ad featuring fallen troops sparks backlash. President Donald Trump fired back at the Democrat Party on Wednesday after the party faced intense backlash over Memorial Day media posts that used photos of 13 fallen service members. Ha! How you doing, Doc? Well, it's a strong word, H-A-T-E. How about saying they puke you out? Get me in trouble with terms of service. But H-A-T-E, good. They puke me out. Half the country pukes me out. All this stuff going on. All the stuff I've talked about. The intel money, the tariff money, the seed money for infants, on and on and on. What does Politico come up with? Recent survivors of U.S. boat strikes haven't been found, bringing overall death toll to 199. What the subliminal message in this thing? How many survivors were there, Politico? You say the overall death toll is 199. How many survived in your book? 5? 6? When they're engaged in bringing deadly chemicals into our country, they're unlawful combatants and they get blown out of the water, and they know that. So what are you saying, Politico? We got a duty to go, what, to be like having a duty to give George Floyd mouth to mouth? We got to go rescue everybody? And you make it seem like somebody reading this quick with the usual smooth-brained mouth breather would read this to say that there were 199 people missing because of Pete Hegseth. That's how nefarious they are and vicious. Somebody's orchestrating it. But, I pulled up oil prices again. People say, oh, Trump's manipulating the market. That's why he's not attacking. They don't know. They don't know what the hell he's doing. They have no idea. But it's still around $88. Crude oil futures. Okay. Previous close $88.90. This was at 6:30 Eastern time. $88.64. Things are going along. Not near what Biden had them at. And Trump is not depleting our strategic reserve like Biden did. Oh, here's some more cultural rot. Cultural rot. What's going on here? There's a guy in a black shirt running, and there's a bunch of little kids with their book bags. What is this? Was he doing magic tricks? Breaking. It's in Switzerland. Man shouting, "Aloha, snack bar." Penetrated with a sharp object. 3 people at a train station in Switzerland in front of a class of children. Police are saying his motive is unknown. Gee, what could his motive possibly be? So you, Switzerland, you can let your country rot. UK, we're not going to be a party to it. Trump's pulling back troops. He's pulling back funding from the WHO. He's pulling back planes. I'll show you that in a minute. But who's this guy? That's a nice guy, isn't he? Looks Irish. Maybe Italian. Illegal alien. Lives at TikTok. Convicted of attempted murder. Roamed free for over 15 years. Dinh Quai Nguyen, an illegal from Vietnam, was convicted of trying to end a cop's life in '88. After his release from prison in 2011, he was arrested by ICE, who were then forced to release him due to Obama-era policies. Nguyen was arrested by ICE again earlier this month and is now facing deportation. If Democrats had their way, foreign murderers and rapists would never be held accountable. Take out the trash. We got our 250-year celebration coming up. We can't have a bunch of trash running around. Roland, how you doing? I'm still looking for my Miss Sminders too. Randy, I hope you're still listening. I hope you fell asleep getting some good rest. You can always listen to me tomorrow. P, how you doing? Yeah, hit the like button. P said. PP. Wee. Here, I should have put this up earlier. Speaking of our 250-year anniversary. To preserve liberty, it is essential that the whole body of people always possess arms and be taught alike, especially when young, how to use them. Richard Henry Lee. Who is Richard Henry Lee? The Lee family. Robert E. Lee. I believe it was his brother. And his other brother, he had multiple brothers. Henry Lightfoot Lee. I got to do some stories on them. He had one uncle, I think it was almost tarred and feathered tax collector from down, where was that? I'll have to, they used to do a reenactment of that. When all the residents of the town went to this tax collector's office and they were asking if he was going to enforce, I think it was the Stamp Act. And if he said yes, they were going to tar and feather him and run him out on a rail. And they reenacted it. I don't think they still do it, but I think about 15 years ago they used to. For decades. They probably took it down from Goggle. Let's see what this is. Oh, Trump administration planning potentially to put president's image on a commemorative $250 bill. CNN misrepresenting. Okay? Scott Pezant was asked about this, of course, a nonsense question with all this other pressing things. Why is Donald Trump trying to put his face on a $250 bill? Congress brought it up. It's before Congress, and that's what Scott Pezant said. We can't do anything unless Congress approves it. They're talking about it, so we have to be ready. Here's Trump. He's ready. But it's not like Trump thought it up and Trump is pushing everybody. But that's the way they act. Oh, it's a vanity project. He just wants to do it. No. There are people in Congress that want him on the $250 bill because he's president during our 250th anniversary. Thank you very much. And we had a living entity on our currency back in 1866. I read that. I'm not sure who it was, but I could goggle it and find out. So, yeah, if there's some representatives that want to honor him because they took the $250 bill. I went over that. We used to have $250 bills. We used to have $500 bills. And we used to have $1,000 bills. Grant was on, right, Doc. Grant was on the $1,000 bill. Oh, no, wait a minute. I got that wrong. Who was on the $1,000 bill? I can't remember. I did a video about it. Is it necessary? Well, why not? I want him on there. I'd vote for it. Man's risked his life and been working for 10 years to get us to this point where we can run these damn communists out and prevent our country from being taken over by a bunch of third world trash. So, yeah, it's necessary. In my book. But they make it seem like Trump is doing it for vanity project, and that is not the case. I would push for it. And members of Congress are pushing for it, too. He deserves it. He's been through hell. We've been through hell. It's time for the hell to come to an end. It's time for the golden age. Here. What's that? Trump cuts support for NATO defense plan. Oh, he's alienating our friend. No, he's telling them you got to take the training wheels off and defend yourself, especially if you're going to cause trouble with Russia. You better be able to back up your big mouths. The United States has warned it could withdraw a third of the fighter jets earmarked to protect Europe in a crisis. The withdrawn assets would include strategic bombers, warships, and submarines. Hey, it costs money to run that stuff. We got to take care of our hemisphere and Greenland. And we're going to run the commies out of our hemisphere. And if you want to be overrun by a bunch of third world savages, that's your problem. You better get your head and your rear end wired right. I didn't mean to blow up like that, Doc. But I don't feel good. I hadn't been feeling good for a while. I had this the other day. Why didn't I put it up? I don't know what to say. Lives a TikTok. Trump shuts down U.S. aid, and suddenly the Democrat Party is broke. National Committee Finance Update. RNC. Cash on hand, $123 million. 0.9 million. Debt, zero. And guess what? None of it's from non-profits or from USAID, okay? We're not stealing our money, but your spigot's been cut off. You can't steal anymore, so what do you have? Cash on hand, $14.4 million. Oh, wait a minute. How much debt do you have? 17.5. So wait a minute. You're 3.1 million in the hole, or 2.9. I don't know. My brain's foggy. There we go. There you go. Republican National Committee. And you know what? The cash on hand is probably stolen and could get confiscated because the DNC is a criminal enterprise, and the debt is probably crooked as hell. Haha, okay, Doc. Yeah, NATO could start carrying their own weight. Well, they just voted down putting 0.25%, I've got it in here somewhere, of their budget to finance the operations in Ukraine. Different countries, like 5 different countries. Mark Rutte made that proposal. Everybody puts 0.25% of their GDP into a fund to help Ukraine. And they all said, no. Because with Biden, they've been plucking our feathers. They hadn't needed to do it. What's this one? Oh. See that little boat up top? That is a remote control boat. A drone bomb. Okay. What's going on here? Tankers attacked by drones off the coast of Turkey in the Black Sea. According to the video, 2 drones did not explode. One crashed into a tanker and did not detonate. The second is standing in the water nearby. The video says these are Ukrainian Magura V5, V7 drones. I got a video. Here it is. Here it is. They must have lost connection with their operators or something. They malfunctioned. One hit the boat and didn't blow up. The other one's out there bobbing around the water. They went right for the rudder. Right for the rudder. But it was a flop, so those things don't always work, right? Good thing. But they want to blow the rudder out. So anyway. Roland, who's here? Are you the only one here from Canada? All right, Cole. Yeah, you have a good evening. Are you the only one here from Canada, Roland? Because, wait a second. I'm trying to pull something up. There we go. I got a video about Castro's daughter I want to play for you all. Where'd my chats go? Wait a second. There we go. There. I put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee at the 145 mark. At the end of the video, in other words, if anybody wants to help the channel out. I got this video of Castro's daughter, and she says that Fidel Trudeau's mother, I guess Trudeau is her stepbrother, right? The way she's hinting at it, she said, well, she used to come to Cuba a lot. Yeah. Let me find that. She is a conservative. And you can bet that the liberals don't want to have a thing to do with her. They won't interview her or nothing. But here is Cuba's Castro's daughter living in America, conservative. And I put my QR code up for anybody who wants to scan to buy me a coffee. But anyway, I'm going to play this video for y'all. Her stepbrother, she doesn't come out and say it. Fidel After Dark, right, Doc? But anyway, folks, enjoy this video. What do I always say? I say, thank you for spending your precious time with me. And thank you for everybody that went by Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate it. If you want to help an old man out, that's why you don't have to skip commercials. Okay, it's a commercial-free broadcast. Totally viewer supported. Anyway, I hope you all have a great night. And I should be broadcasting tomorrow. If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live, right? So anyway, folks, I hope you all have a great night. This is Mountain Man. Enjoy this video, by the way. Over and out.
For years, we've heard rumors that Justin Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, could be your half-brother. What do you think of that?
The only thing I can say is that his mother used to visit the country very often.
Well, that may be a tell then. I guess that's a half answer.
Yeah.
Do you plan to call him and maybe find out?
No. I won't do it. If he wants, he's going to be welcome, but I won't. I think he keeps that to himself, and you have to respect that.